You were sent in there not for committing a crime, not for harming anyone, not for terrorism or murder. You were sent in there for publishing a documentary film to Twitter. A judge said don't do it. You did it, and so he threw you in prison.
I did it. I knew they'd throw me in prison. I know if I give them any opportunity, they'd throw me in prison. But what that documentary shown to everyone who's watched it is it showed the corruption of the judiciary along with the government working together in order to silence people through intimidation or through NDAs. What you see in the film is NDAs.
Non-disclosure agreements.
Non-disclosure agreements, they pay people just to keep them silent. So you never get the story out there because people are being paid not to tell the story.
So this was the case of a Syrian teenager at a school, and I'm not looking to crack open the facts of it, but
I'm not allowed to crack open the facts. I'll go straight back to jail.
So, I mean, and I'm not looking to violate any court orders here myself. I don't want to be thrown in jail or banned from the UK, but that's what the subject matter was. It was a lively debate. And, you know, I won't press you because I don't want to get you in trouble, but it was a real issue. And my view of it is essentially a judge said, your evidence in this documentary does not reach the evidentiary level to have it admissible in court.
Well, the judge.
Go ahead.
The judge ruled that 7 teachers that were covertly recorded were lying. All of them were lying. 5 pupils that come to court to testify, they were lying. He just ruled that everyone was lying. He doesn't say what. Do you know, in his summary, he says sometimes people just lie. They don't need a reason to lie. They just lie. So he found that 5 children commit perjury. That's what his ruling was. And the only person that told the truth was the Syrian refugee in question. So, but by coming to that finding, what he'd done by giving the injunction, preventing anyone from seeing the film, was preventing anyone seeing the evidence. So then no one can see that it's impossible to come to the verdict he come to if they can see the evidence.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, in America, there's a phrase, the Streisand effect. It's named after Barbara Streisand. She didn't want people taking photos of her home in Malibu. So all of a sudden, everybody took photos of her home in Malibu.
Okay.
You know, no one would have been interested had she not said, you can't do that. So they ordered you not to make the film. By the time you took it down a couple of weeks ago, it had, what, 167 million views?
Most watched film in British history.
Seems
I think it took those views, and I'll be honest, when I made the decision to release the film, I was shitting myself. I was scared. I was scared, and I knew where it would end up. And I knew that by giving them that opportunity, it would give them the opportunity to hold me on segregation and solitary confinement. I knew that. I knew that it would give them the opportunity to mess with everything and play games with everything. But the British public need to know, because they're getting spoon-fed stories and narratives and agendas by the government and by the state, and they need to know the truth. It's like the grooming scandal, which is why I believe there's such a target on my back. They managed for decades to suppress it and silence it. They managed successfully to hide it. The police knew it was happening for decades. The government knew it was happening for decades.
This is the organized
rape. The media, all the media knew. None of them reported it, they all knew. All of them knew. So the last thing they want is citizen journalism. And I always say the mainstream media are the cancer and citizen journalism is the cure. We're uncontrollable. I learned this from you, Ezra. I learned this from you, to tell the other side of the story that the public aren't getting. So with this story, they spoon-fed the entire population a narrative and an agenda-driven story about open border immigration and not hiding the realities and the problems that come with that. And they lied. So then I created my documentary, which gave people here. I didn't even give my opinion. I just said, actually, here's the evidence.